More than 1,000 years have passed since the Central Plains were merged into a single entity. A period of 1,000 years was more than enough for an iron ruler of emperors who possessed superhuman martial arts and their powerful imperial forces to rot and decompose. This time was enough for the appearance of heroes defending this world, martial artists and just warriors who could not tolerate injustice, but instead of overthrowing patience, many longed for power, becoming loyal imperial dogs. The peasants for these times, shafted into a pit full of torment and despair. And so, when people had already resigned themselves to their unhappy fate, accepting the fact that they would have to spend the rest of their lives in this hell, a new continent was found on which they could get, having crossed on a ship across the boundless ocean. A place with vast forests and plains, high mountains and deep valleys, harsh deserts and calm rivers. These were boundless lands. Lands of opportunity. Countless oppressed peasants, martial artists from underground, descendants of old kings who were considered long gone, terrible criminals, and even madmen who practiced sinister, demonic martial arts. People from all walks of life began to cross the ocean in pursuit of their goals. Different faiths and principles, selfishness, greed, and the pursuit of the highest good. All this gave rise to wars in which everyone tried to suppress the ambitions of others using all kinds of martial arts. A spark from this chaos will spark the life of a new martial kingdom. Without the oppression of the empire in the battle for its own faith, the fire will manifest and kindle in the hearts of the masters of martial arts. The embers of the new martial kingdom of you, which appeared after 1,000 years, will not be easy to extinguish, even by the power of the imperial troops. The whole story was read by a hero from a book that he took from a man who had just been killed by bandits. The hero condemned the writer, since his only faith is to eat well, lie on the crib, and read short stories about martial arts. Liu Bang's Han dynasty was supposed to last only 500 years. The only reason for such a long existence was the discovery of a new continent. The hero did not understand why everything should be so romanticized. The guy realized that they were robbers, since the luggage was empty, and the entire escort team was killed. The hero saw children's clothes. It turns out there was a child with them. Most likely, he will be sold or grow out of him a bandit. That's how it works in this world. The hero got on a horse and left the place of death of so many people. A city in the middle of the desert. Voices of people who were having fun could be heard from one end. A company of 2 people discussed rumors that Mansik's merchant squad had been defeated, even though they had as many as 5 guards. Of the entire group, only 1 porter survived. A fairly old machine talks about the fact that people who deserve to die are just walking around the world. And there are plenty of thieves both in the villages and outside them. Another told the old man that he should be quieter, as they might hear him and do something terrible. In response, the elderly man said that he didn't care, and that he avoided them not because of fear, but because they were vile. A man's friend noticed one interesting thing. He talks a lot, but he won't tell them this to their face. The main character enters the tavern. All the people inside stared right at him, and he asked if there were places where he could sit down. The administrator of the inn said that the hero can sit wherever he wants. The guy sat down at the table. The manager came up to him and told him not to pay attention to the looks. This is due to the fact that guests in this area are rare, and even now it is restless. The hero was asked what he would order. The guy chose what the cook would be able to cook the fastest. The black-haired hero asked who walked past him here. To replace the answer, the cry of a man who was sitting at a nearby table and accused another of cheating was heard. The administrator did not answer the question, but pointed his finger at the very table where the farce is taking place. The dispute unfolded between 2 men gambling. The first accused the second of cheating, which he perfectly denied. The hero looked and recognized one of the guys. The main character crawled up to the crook from behind and greeted Yang Wen. The man in purple clothes said that he was busy, but the hero was just glad that he found him. Seeing who was behind him, the man shouted Zhang Qian's name. The hero and the guy in purple clothes were interrupted by a man accusing him of cheating. He says that they can talk later, but now they need to solve one issue. The hero, with an arrogant tone, ordered the man to shut up. Yang Guan was visibly nervous. He asked what the hero was doing here. Zhang Qian says that they have not seen each other for 2 months and asked how Yang lived. He stammered that everything was fine, and in response asked how the hero. Can Qian said that he was not doing well, and the drivers of the gang of the guy in purple clothes are fine. It turns out that purple was the hero's last goal. He began to make excuses that it made no sense for him to deceive the master of martial arts in dominoes. But the hero was unstoppable. Seeing of the situation, the guy started to run away. The hero grabbed him by the hair and hit his face on the gaming table. The guy continued to justify himself, but this did not work on the hero, and he asked where his money was. The money was spent to pay off the combat alliance. The hero was furious, but the guy said that he had just won some money, and the hero could take it. After these words, Zhang Qian rushed to the table where the money was lying. A man deceived by purple was talking to his back, saying that it was his money. The hero didn't care, and he started collecting coins. The guy squinted at Zhang from behind. He threw him straight into the ground with a light movement. The henchman of the deceived man attacked the hero. He easily dodged all the blows and successfully counterattacked. All the minions of the loser were defeated, and the other visitors were terrified. The deceived man began to threaten the guy and ran away. Purple told the hero that it was Jin Yansuk. Jan threatened Purple and ordered him to return the money. He said that there was nothing, but when the matter really began to gain serious momentum, he took out a jade ring. This was enough for the hero to get behind the guy. Jan turned to the people and asked where his bowl of noodles was. A paw mask was brought to him, and a purple guy by name addressed him. He warned the hero that he should leave this place as soon as possible, since the person to whom he broke his nose was not worth touching. The hero ignored the friend's warning. In fact, no one dared to touch someone else's Yansuk, since his older brother Jin Changsuk is a master of martial arts. The hero is also engaged in martial arts, so this fact did not scare him very much. The purple one said that asshole is from the Cadaver clan, the sect of chaos. The combat alliance does not touch them because there is an agreement between them, according to which they behave quietly. That's why he dared to deceive the brother of a martial arts master. All the people in the tavern looked askance at the hero and his friend. It seems they left a terrible first impression. The owner of the hotel approached the hero, returned the money paid by him, and asked him to leave his hotel, as he could not allow riots to occur. Violet was glad of this arrangement, because in his opinion, if people come from behind the Cadaver clan, they are unlikely to get out of there alive. The main character continued to eat his noodles indifferently, and when he finished he said that everything would be fine. The man in purple clothes was nervous, as his life was at stake, but it was already too late. A huge man came into the tavern, who was the brother of a guy with a broken nose. He started pointing his finger at the hero, and said that it was they who broke his nose. The owner approached the big guy and asked him to slow down, since they had not bought tables for a long time, but he only made the owner shut up with a menacing look. Purple was about to run, but the hero ordered him to sit still. Changsuk and his gang came to the hero's table. He started talking about watching this village, so that there would be no disorder in it. There is usually no work, but now it seems to have appeared. The hero did not pay attention to the bully, and continued to drink his drink. A friend of the main character went to the bully and began to say something about a misunderstanding. He began to suck up to the man in an attempt to save his life in this way. The bully just pointed his finger at him and called him a fraud, then pointed his finger at the hero and called him a bully. The bully said that now he would catch the attackers and send them to jail. This made the hero laugh. The bully began to threaten, swore to break his arms and legs. The hero began to criticize the guys, saying that if a person is so calm in such a situation, they should think, maybe he belongs to the Imperial Army. After these words, the big man bowed and apologized that he did not recognize a member of the Imperial Army, to which the hero replied that he did not belong to the Imperial Army. The bully is in a rage because of the shame that the hero made him feel. Zdorov hit the table, and the hero flew straight into the opponent's face from his foot. He lost consciousness from one blow. The people who came with that guy attacked the hero, but he easily defeated her. A man from the Combat Alliance came to the tavern and asked to stop. The man was a little surprised by the calmness of the hero, but he dispelled doubts by saying that he knows that he is the head of the Combat Alliance department. The Combat Alliance received a complaint about the hero, which said that he was beating civilians. The boss asked if what was passed to him was true. The hero called it self-defense. A man with a broken nose shouted to the boss that he would quickly arrest the guy who arranged all this, then ordered his people to detain him. The guy with the broken nose rejoiced until the members of the Combat Alliance put katanas to his throat. The guy asked the boss to explain what was going on here, but the boss ordered to put these people behind bars. The boss turned to the hero, as he was wondering where he learned such martial arts. The hero silently left the money for the inconvenience to the owner of the inn and headed for the exit. Zhang Qian and his friends rode horses through the desert. The guy in purple clothes was talking to the hero about the situation that happened. An acquaintance of Jan spoke badly about the members of the Combat Alliance. According to him, it was possible to understand that there were no normal ones among them. After that, he offered the hero to work with him, but he only said that he was leaving his friend far away and she hoped never to meet him again. And if suddenly a friend decides to follow the guy, he breaks his leg. The acquaintance was left to speculate about who the hero really is, and the guy himself rode on horseback on Los Chad. The hero lit a fire and made a halt, as it was already dark. The hero remembers the past, when he still lived in the modern world. He loved to read manhwas about martial arts, but at one point, he was hit by a car when he saved the girl. That's how he ended up in this world. The hero was riding a horse, promising himself that he would never play this damn domino again. But his thoughts were interrupted by the smell of blood, which wafted not far from his location. These are bandits who mercilessly killed people. One of the subordinates of the main bandit rejoiced because this time they hit a big jackpot. A hero arrived at the scene of the incident, who was noticed by the same subordinate. The hero decided to ignore the attackers and go on his way, but this outcome did not suit the bandits. They mounted their horses and attacked the hero. He cut off the head of some bandit with every swing of his sword, a truly terrible sight. This did not stop the bandits, and they continued to attack and lose their lives in the fight with the hero. There were 2 wards and the boss left. The wards asked the boss to intervene. Since they were finished at this rate, he killed them in cold blood and asked the hero who he was. The guy said he was just a man passing by. The bandit asked why then he did not pass by, what offended the hero, how he should have dealt with the bandits attacking him. The job of bandits is to kill and rob people, and the leader said there was nothing to do about it. The hero was amused by this. Barton began to talk about what he was doing no worse than the military alliance and the empire. The hero called him a madman and got off his horse. When the bandit saw the hero, he asked if he was an investigator of the Combat Alliance, which meant that there was a reward for the head of the thug, and this, in turn, was very interested in the hero. The opponent stood in a fighting stance, his body was enveloped in a red aura. They both took off, and at first it was not clear which of them won, but a little later, when the carcass of the criminal fell to the cold ground, it became clear who emerged victorious in this fight. The victim of that incident turned to the guy. She asked for help. The hero helped the man and said that although the vital organs were not touched, he would not last long due to blood loss. The man begged the hero to save his son, whom he managed to hide under the cart. The boy was only 8 years old, and his mother died in childbirth. His own wife blames her son for the girl's death, so they abandoned everything and went to a new continent. The guy said that he did not know how to handle children and advised the man to do it himself. He objected because he thought he was finished, but the hero, without listening, pressed the acupuncture points that stopped the bleeding. In this world, an acupuncture session, conducted by an experienced doctor. He carefully finds the blood vessels and inserts thick needles. In addition, to master this skill, you need to study a lot. Only experienced specialists are engaged in acupuncture. Of course, the residents of Murim know what acupuncture is. But it does not occur to them that you can stop cow bleeding or cause other damage with your bare hands. They consider the lightning attacks of the Imperial Army to be the strongest type of martial arts. The hero in the past asked to teach him acupuncture points. The man who was saved by the hero asked what he wanted as a reward. The guy showed a circle with his hands and demanded money. The hero helped the man to reach his son. The father called Huang, saying that everything was already in order. The son got out and hugged his father. He said that he felt bad because of the sword wound and passed out. The boy started crying, but the hero calmed him down. The man lost consciousness due to relief. He's lost too much blood. The boy asked who the hero was, to which he said his name Jian Gan. The hero ordered the boy to bandage his father, and he went in search of a horse for these people. The hero took the head of a bandit he had recently killed for a reward. It turns out that this guy was the captain of the third squad, which meant that there were 2 others. The hero and the 2 people he rescued went to the village, where the boys and should help them. Wind, rain, and wild animals will destroy what is left. Whether they will become gloomy ghosts of the underworld, or are translated as this person, no one knows. But he hoped that they would get to a place where they could forget about the pain and difficulties of life. This fleeting thought was the only thing he could afford in this wilderness. They made a halt, and the hero was watching a man who looked bad. It seemed to the guy that he would not last 2 days in this condition, but if you drive faster, the wounds will start to bleed. The hero asked if there were any other villages nearby where the doctor could be. It turns out there was one. They were just planning to spend the night there. Detectives found the gang's corpses and discussed how they were killed. It seems these people overestimated the bandits if they were killed so easily. The girl was able to simulate the situation and seemed to realize that all these bandits were killed by one person.